Hi everybody, this is Dr. Hamid with your Math 120 class, and today we'll talk about section 2.2 in chapter 2, which is about subsets of a given set. Okay, um, in this section we will we will define and recognize subsets of a given set. We'll talk about proper subsets, okay, of a given set, and we will see how to find the number of subsets of a given set. Okay, and similarly to find number of proper subsets of a given set. Okay, so let's start with subsets. A set A is a subset of B if every element in set A is also an element of set B. Okay, so if set A is a subset of set B, okay, then we denote it with this symbol here. It means that A is a subset of B here. Okay, and now the symbol which we use to represent a subset is sort of this U, okay, sideways U, and this line below it. Okay, this means A is a subset of B there. Okay, now keep in mind that to qualify as a subset, all elements of A must be in B. Okay, if all elements of set A are not, okay, in B, okay, even if they differ by one element, then set A is not a subset of B, and there is a different notation, or there is a different symbol for that. Okay, so it's the same symbol, okay, as we use it for the subset, but with this line through it, okay, sort of a diagonal line through it. This means it's not a subset. This symbol means A is not a subset of B there. Okay, now now just by definition, by default, every set is a subset of itself. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Let's look at some examples here. Suppose two sets are given to us: a set A, which has elements 1 2 3, set B, which has elements 1 and 2 in it. Okay, and our goal is to find out if A is a subset of B. Okay, now what are we looking for here? We are looking for we need to look if every element of A is in B. Okay, and you can see that definitely every element of A is not in B. 1 is in B, 2 is in B, but 3 is not in B. Okay, so that means it does not satisfy the definition. A is not a subset of B. Okay, so we represented A, that's its symbol with the line through it, which means A is not a subset of B. Okay, now let's look at it from the other way around. Okay, is B a subset of A? Now we are looking for if this set is contained in this set. Yes, it is. It looks like, because every element of B is in A. Every element of B is in A. Okay, so B is a subset of A, and we represent it using the same notation right there. Okay, let's move on to proper subsets. Okay, so subsets and proper subsets, they are different definitions here. When we talk about a proper subset, a set A is called a proper subset of set B. Okay, if set A is a subset of B, okay, and both sets are not equal. Okay, A is not equal to B. Okay, so it's a subset of B and they are not equal. Okay, so if A is a proper subset, the notation used for this one is this almost same, except that line below it. Okay, if we have line below it, that means it's a subset. Okay, if there is no line, that means it's a proper subset. Okay, so for example, if we have two sets, set A is a person, is given in a certain build notation X, such that X is a person who lives in Spartanburg. Okay, and B is a set, is a person who lives in South Carolina. Okay, so now you can see that clearly set A is a subset of set B, so A is in B. Okay, and of course both sets are not equal. Spartanburg is not equal to South Carolina. Since both sets are not equal, so it's a proper subset. Okay, so this is an example of proper subset right there. Let's look at the relationship of empty sets and subsets. Okay, it's sort of a conceptual thing. Every empty set, okay, the empty set is a subset of every set. It's contained in every set. Similarly, for any set B other than the empty set is a proper subset as well. Okay, so empty set is a subset, empty set is a proper subset. Okay, so just you will see some conceptual problems in your MyMathLab, but this might be helpful. So remember this slide. Now let's talk about the number of subsets. Okay, this is one of the most important concepts of this lecture, which is to find the number of subsets of a given set. Before we give a formula, there is a formula for that, to find the number of subsets of a given set. Now before we give that formula to find the number of sets, let's look at few examples and try to see the trend, okay, where things are going. Let's start with an empty set. Okay, so suppose we have a set which has no elements in it, number of elements 0. So what are the subsets? If it's an empty set, only subset is itself, which is empty set again. So how many subsets are there? 1. Okay, so if there is no element, we still have one subset. Now let's start with one element. If there is a one element in the set, so it will have two subsets, one itself, one empty set. So number of subsets 2 there. Now let's increase the number of elements by one more. Now we have A and B as elements. How many elements there? 2. So subsets are A, B, and empty set. So how many subsets this time? 4. Okay. Now let's increase one more element. Now how much we have? We have ABC, AB, AC, BC, A, B, C, and empty set. So how many we got? 8. Okay. If you see the trend, what is happening here? When we increase, as we increase the number of elements in the set by 1, okay, the number of subset doubles. You see that? If we went from there, it went from 1 to 2. When we went from one element to two element, the number of subsets go from 2 to 4. When we go from 2 elements to 3, number of subsets go from 4 to 8. Okay, now we can give the formula now. Okay, the number of subsets of any set with n elements in it is 2 to the power n. Okay, 2 raised to the power n there. And how many proper subsets? Just reduce by 1. Okay, so the number of proper subsets of a set with n elements is 2 to the power n minus 1 there. Okay, so if you want to find any subsets, you will use this formula. Proper subsets, you will use this formula right there. Okay, let's look at an example here. Suppose we want to find the number of subsets and number of proper subsets of these two sets there. First set is A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so how many elements are there? There are 5 elements. Okay, so if you want to find the subsets, it will be 2 to the power 5. So we will have 32 subsets of this set. Okay, similarly, how many proper subsets we can have? There will be minus 1 of that. So there will be 31. Okay, similarly, if we have this set which is x such that x is a natural number and it is between 9 and 15 including those. Okay, let me write them in the raster form so that you can see it clearly. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many elements? 7 elements in there. Okay, so how many subsets? It will be 2 to the power 7, which will be 128. Okay, so now how many proper subsets? It will be minus 1, 127. Okay, that's how you will find proper subsets and subsets of any given set there. That's it. Thank you very much. Okay, please try the assigned homework problems. This was the easy lecture. We only had 2 basic concepts: subsets, proper subsets, how to find subsets, how to find proper subsets, the number of subsets, the number of proper subsets. Okay, if you have any problems, any questions, please contact me. Make sure to try the assigned homework problems. Thank you. Bye bye.